everyone, I'm Amber. Today we are in a different angle of my room because I went on a hike earlier this morning and my legs are killing me and I cannot for the life of me sit down on a wooden chair and film this video. I can barely get out of my bed. Today we are doing another movie review. I guess this is just the theme for my channel for a bit. It's okay. We're rolling with it. So today I'm gonna be reviewing Moonshot. I think that this movie started off interesting and then got progressively better. Um, it stars Cole Sprouse and Lana Condor, and I love them both as actors. Like I've been watching like Cole since The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, so that's that. And then Lana from To All the Boys I Loved Before. I just I think they worked super well together, and I think they're just both incredible actors. And I think right now they are like two of like the top contenders of like just making cute young adult movies, romance movies. I think that they just meshed really well together, and I didn't expect that because like I hadn't seen them in a movie together. And to me, like, even though like they both do these movies well, they've done so many like characters that are vastly different from one another, and I didn't expect them to like go together. But I feel like they worked very well. Um, so this movie is about this young, well, he's in college. He's about to graduate college. So like this young college student who lives on Earth, but like in a time where Earth is like they have set foot on Mars. There's people living on Mars. It's all about Mars. Space travel is like a thing that is like people go and they take like trips and stuff. Very expensive. There's like robots that like live on Earth and help people on their day to day lives. And it opens up on the scene where he's a barista at a coffee shop, and he is working for his boss, which is this sassy robot. And like he is just wanting to go up to Mars because it's been his dream. I wish they had clarified a little bit more as to why it's his dream. Like, I think like they said that like it had to do with like his mom and stuff, but it was just kind of like still pretty vague. And he was very persistent in wanting to go up there, and then it kind of ended up being that he like didn't feel like he fit in on Earth, and he kind of wanted to go to a place where he could kind of like start fresh, and it was otherworldly, and he felt like he would belong up there. Little does he know that it's the same thing. Like, just because it's on this other planet doesn't mean that he's gonna fit in. There's a whole colony of people up there, and they're living their lives, and everything is just the same as on Earth. Just a little more high tech, and we're on Mars. But that's later on in the movie. So basically, he ends up having submitted his application because he goes to a school where they have like this like exchange kind of like study abroad program where they can go and like study on Mars or live on Mars for a bit. Um, and he submitted his application like 37 times and they've denied him. And they seem to only be taking in people who like are super duper smart, and are going to be like helping like the people up there, I guess make it better, like, and like help with like resources and providing like aid and stuff like that. And they want like the best of the best up there. But then if you have enough money, you could also go up there. But you have to buy a ticket, and it's like 9 million, I don't know, thousand something dollars. So yeah, like this is the only way he can get up there. And his from someone who's applied to like college programs and stuff and kind of understands like the criteria of like maybe what Mars would be looking for if like they were like say a college. He started off, I think, explaining what why he wanted to go up there very well. But then like he like I guess kind of lost himself and didn't exactly know why he knew why he adored it, like Mars and the idea of it, but he didn't like have a definite explanation as how he would contribute or why it was so important to him. So like he had the backstory but not like what now kind of thing. And so then he kind of just cuts off and like submits it. And I think like for this program, like you can just like you record and then you submit it. Like you can't edit it, which I was like, that'd be interesting. Like if they would be able to edit it because it's like you just send it in like it's a raw copy, like you know, and like of course if like a college, they only want the best of the best. So like if he doesn't have X, Y, and Z and he's not this smarty pants, like they don't want him, which I kind of found sad. I think that he's a very unique person. They kind of play him off as like a very like bland character kind of at the beginning, and it's just kind of like no, he's a really unique person. I don't understand why they wouldn't want that up there, but from his application, I guess it seemed a little like lackluster in terms of like he didn't like properly like explain it. I think maybe if he would have like then it would have been like okay, like there's something up because like you only want these kind of people. And I that was kind of the gist of the movie, like that's what it was, but like um there was a part of me who was like why wouldn't you want those people up there? And then when you got to Mars there's people like saying that basically he didn't belong up there. Like, if you didn't belong, why would you come? And it's all these like smart people, and it's just like this feels a little hypocritical. So yeah. And then he ends up going to this party, and there's this girl that he finds when looking for the bathroom. It's like her dorm, and she's like already like I think like she's a grad student, and I don't know what kind of student he is. Like apparently he's changed his major a lot of times, but I don't know what he majored in. I don't know if they mentioned it, or like what degree he was getting. And so like, but they mentioned that everyone besides him basically they didn't mention it was working like on their thesis, so like I assume she's a grad student, but I don't know. And so she's like in her room and basically like she's FaceTiming with her boyfriend who lives on Mars currently, and he walks in and like I just felt that to be a little bit like okay, personal boundaries, like you're just walking into someone's room. Like his obsession with Mars was so intense in the beginning that I felt like it was going to be too much for the whole entire movie. I was like, dude, like chill, like come on, like you're invading her like privacy. This is her personal space. Like you're walking into her room on a phone call, like a video conversation. Like that's like not okay. Um and like he shows up like in the background. He's like, "Is that on Mars?" and this and that. And like kind of interrupts the phone conversation, ends up breaking something of hers, and like the boyfriend like is on the screen and just like all this stuff is like going on, and then she kicks him out of the room. And basically like she's the female lead, and so their meeting was a little interesting. I felt it could have gone differently, but I was like, okay. And at still this point in the movie, I'm just kind of like, I'm not sure where we're going with this, but okay. I look so much shorter, like just sitting on my bed now that I realize it. Um, but yeah, so she ends up at the coffee shop the next day, and well, wait, I'm missing a vital part of the movie. But he ends up meeting this other girl who like he has this one night thing with that's like on his checklist that he has, And there's this whole thing with checklist in this like movie, and so like he carries a little journal and he has a checklist, and the girl carries an iPad and she has a checklist. But like this girl, I'm referring to like the female lead, but not this girl. This girl, like apparently, like he finds out later that she's going to Mars the next day, and like so this is like her last day and she doesn't tell him where she's going. She's like, I'm gonna be like heading out, like, you know, like, convince me if like I want to stay or not. And then he ends up like talking to her about Mars, and it's like that kind of like felt like that should have been what he submitted. um because like she ends up like convincing her, like he ends up convincing her to like go, and like this girl, like I think, like I thought she was gonna be like his love interest for at least like half the movie, and it turns out she was just kind of like an excuse, and then like someone that I was just like, wait, what, like with because like getting with she ends up getting with some other guy, like, and like not really giving like this guy a chance, and like kind of being weirded out that he like would follow her, but he didn't follow her. He just wanted to go to Mars, and so like that was his excuse to go to Mars. Like after that, he was like, I want to go with her, because he ends up kind of falling for her, but not really. Like again, it's an excuse. And so then next day at the coffee shop, he runs into the other girl. She's crying because she finds out that her boyfriend, who was supposed to come back soon, is not coming back, and he's gonna be up there for like another year. And like at this point, like like when they first were FaceTiming, like they seemed really cute. Um, but it's at this point in the movie we realize, okay, there's something more to the relationship. Something is going on. He's not understanding her properly, or like realizing what she wants or what she needs in the relationship. And like there's moments in the like movie where he's like a decent guy, and there's moments where I'm just like, that's not an okay thing to say. Like, why would you stay with him? Um, so yeah, and then he ends up like talking to her like all day, and she ends up being like, she like goes into like spurts of annoyance with him. She just kind of like gets frustrated with him after a while. And she ends up being so flustered. She's like, you know what? Like, because she's afraid to like travel in space or the air. Like, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a ticket because like apparently she has the money. And so then she like buys the ticket, and then he like meets up with her like at the place, even though she like walked away like all mad, and it's just like you're just following this girl, and it's like she just talked to you like that one day, and every other time you've annoyed her and bothered her and like been like in her business, like what is going on? And it's just like, how did you even know like what time she would be there? And he was like, well, I just want to see like the launch and everything, like please let me see the launch. But then he has a suitcase, and I'm just like, do you not see that he has a suitcase? Like um so apparently the other girl like sent him a video saying that um because she had stopped texting him for a bit, but then she sent him a video, and then like I guess she was with someone else already. So I was just like, why are you sending him a video? That a cat stowed away on one of the escape pods, and so he has like this grand idea like, I'm gonna go on an escape pod and I'm gonna get up there and do X, Y, and Z, and I will be up there and it'll be no problem. And like they let a cat do it and everything. And so basically, that's his plan. He like sneaks onto the escape pod because the girl, like, he like convinces her to just like walk her through like until the end, and then that's when he gets like close enough to like go. And it's just like a movie of her being annoyed with him, and him just wanting to go to Mars, and his obsession with it, that gets slightly less annoying as the movie goes on. And then, you know, like most of the movie is them like on the ship. Like that's what confuses me. Like, because there's this one spaceship like that they like sit on, and you assume that they would just go like straight up to Mars, but then like there's like this whole other separate spaceship, but then like on the way back there wasn't like, so, and then like the pilot ends up staying like on Mars, and it's like, but aren't you the pilot of the ship? Like, I'm so confused. So they end up going home on like the one that like delivers trash back to the planet, because Mars doesn't have trash. And so coincidentally, they're the trash being sent back, but like yeah, haha. Um, and so like it also like shows that Mars is like this holy grail type thing. So like it goes from like 1 day to 30, like 22 days, and they had like 23 days or something like that, or 25. And then like the movie starts rolling, and then things start happening, and then they end up kind of falling for one another, and he ends up kind of breaking her out of her shell, and she ends up kind of like grounding him and everything. And then she gets to Mars and realizes that her boyfriend is like not what she wants, and she's fallen for someone else. And the family that her boyfriend's family like ended up taking her in after her parents had died and everything, and they're like, we'll still be your family no matter what happens between you two and everything. And so like she's up there trying to be something that she's not, ends up deciding that she doesn't want to be up there anymore. Turns out the guy ends up being like sent to jail because he gets caught like right when he gets there, but then like it's not him going to jail, because apparently they had been tracking him the whole entire time, and they knew that he wasn't like this guy this whole entire time, because he was pretending to be her boyfriend, like on the ship, which I would assume there's like something that would say like that can't happen, like he can't, like, because that guy's on the other ship, but I don't know. And so basically the like director like strikes up a deal with him, and like this guy is like, he believes so much that he's like this just normal nobody, and so he's just like, yeah, go ahead, like you can use me and my image and who I am, and basically make fun of me and use me to promote Mars and stuff like that, and that anybody can make it, and I'm such a goofball, and they were just like using him like in like such sad ways. And then he's just doing this so he can stay on Mars, because they allowed him to stay on Mars even though like he should have gone to jail. But this director guy is like, I can use this to my advantage, and he leaked the footage of like him like trying to get on the escape pod. But yeah, they've known the whole entire time that he was there and everything, and they just kind of let him, because they're like, you didn't cause really a problem. But it's like, okay. And there's a lot of moments when it's just kind of like the robot, everybody is so sarcastic in this movie, and it just kind of like, all right, like after a while it was a vibe, but like at first it was just like, what? But anyway, he finds out that she was going back. He realizes that like he wants to be with her, and she earlier on was like explaining things about going on that were going on with her boyfriend, and he was like, if he really cares about you, he'll follow you. And then like they end up together, and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm following you. And just like, oh, and it's just really sweet, and it's really cute. And then like she's like still this super smart human being, and he's just this crazy unique guy, and they just like balance each other out and everything, and they go and they hopefully live their lives. But like yeah, like he like teaches her like that she doesn't have to have this impossible checklist of who she wants to be with and who she wants to be, and like, or has to be. And she shows him that he doesn't have to have this checklist of things that are like super crazy, because he feels like he needs to be this person that he isn't. Like he's good enough just being him. So yeah, that's the movie. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the beginning was a little awkward. And there's moments where I was just kind of like, alrighty then. But it was a good movie, and I highly recommend it. It yeah, it really, like, I love movies like that. I love like cheesy romantic young adult movies like that, and I highly suggest you check it out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you real soon. Bye.